Hello Leos, and welcome to your December reading. So, in order to celebrate the winter solstice and Christmas, I'm giving away a free reading again, and this time I'm gonna pick amongst, yes, the subscribers, but the ones of you that left a comment, so that it will narrow and enhance your chances to win. So, Leo, I've meditated on your energy and laid down the first layer of cards and what Spirit wants to talk to you about this month, for the month of December. I have the Wheel of Fortune, first card. So this tells me that there's this movement from an understanding, a decision, something that will actually change the conditions of your life. Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Life, Rota, Tarot, Torah, of how the world turns. And here, that decision, I have it here with the Two of Wands, with Justice. So we understand that Justice has that sort of understanding and wants to make a judgment, a decision based on something balanced, to put back balance in a situation that maybe was Seven of Cups, unclear, that's the fog of unknowing. Anything could happen. It's not grounded, it's up there, it affects my emotions also. So they're very you're going to be very cerebral this month for a fire sign. And this here, Justice, and after that I have the High Priestess. So not only a clear, conscious decision, but inspired decision from your higher self, from your soul, from your intuition. Here, under the Wheel of Fortune. So that will affect, there is you, King of Wands, so that means your decisions, your actions, what you want to go for out there, and the Ten of Pentacles. So it affects something that was very long standing for a long time. Some of you it will affect your family. Some others of you it will affect maybe the job you've been in for 10 years, you know, that kind of thing. Part of your heritage, part of your what you're going to leave behind, and what you've been working on for such a long time. That decision will actually affect that. Here under the decision per se, I have the Page of Pentacles. So maybe deciding to go for a new offer of something that could be grown again. Like if you're changing job into something that you've hit your ceiling at the company you are, but there you have this new opportunity to build something new, and you have the will and the energy to do it, and you're going to do it out of relying on a clear decision and from your intuition. Under your intuition here, I have the Queen of Swords. So that means that that intuition is going to be very precise and clear. The perception, because the Queen of Swords, that's what she has, a perception and a grasp on reality that is very wise. She is the wise queen. We say the cold queen, but wisdom is not... does not mean cold, but yes, she was hurt in the past, but she has transformed that her pain into wisdom. So she's not denying the pain she had in the past or the hard experiences and the things like that. She just has the gift of the wisdom from them, and she is protecting her heart with that discernment of her perception of reality. That's why she can't be fooled, because she has had that experience before. So your intuition High Priestess and Queen of Swords is very clear, crystal intuition that is not influenced by past pains and things like that. And it's going to be clear and have no problems making that decision. Because whatever the situation you were in for a very long time, there was probably conflict in it. 5 of Wands. That's, if it's at the work, well, 5 of Wands can be, just this nice brainstorming of people that bring their different ideas. But a good brainstorming at the end, there's, everybody will kind of recognize the best of these ideas and they will go for it. That's a good brainstorming. But when it's just conflict or competition for competition, sometimes it's just counterproductive. And there might have been either inner conflict or outer conflict at your workplace or in your family that would have become kind of counterproductive for you to have to make this decision here. Under the decision, I have the Pope. So, can have to do with institutions again, can have to do with commitment. This is discernment again. We have with Justice a very strong based discernment. These are the keys. That means that the capacity to open doors and to go somewhere. And here under our Queen of Swords, the High Priestess, I have the King of Swords. So King and Queen of Swords. That's why I'm telling you this month you will be very cerebral, very strategic in the way that you will make your decisions. So let's clarify. I'm going to call upon the divine. I'm going to call upon the light. I'm going to call upon the Holy Spirit. I'm going to call upon my guides. Help me clarify this reading for Leo for the month of December. Leo, December. Leo, December. Okay, what is the Wheel of Fortune talking about, Spirit? For you. What is the Wheel of Fortune talking about? Leos out there. Ah, yes, because it is time to finish a cycle. Here, I have sorrow and I have the 10 of Swords. And that's why you're going to make a decision to move the Wheel of Fortune, move the what defines your reality around you through that decision, that conscious decision. Of course, it's going to be at different levels for all of you. For some of you, it can be like unbearable at this point. If, let's say, in that 10 of Pentacles situation, which could be work or family or whatever, that's been your reality for a long time. 5 of Cups, it's when we see that it's sorrow. It's that moment we recognize that the emotions are on the floor and unsolvable. There's nothing that can come out of that. And 10 of Swords is like, I took all I could take in that way of thinking, that way of words or whatever that were done to me. Beliefs, swords are also beliefs. 10 of Swords, end of that cycle. For some others of you, that can be much lighter. Just that, yeah, just going to work is hell. I don't get nourished there anymore. I can't stand the people there. I mean, I'm believing that I have to be there is hurting me at this point. So now I get the enlightenment that, hey, I am the master of my life, and I can move past that through that understanding. And it really has to do with here, Ten of Pentacles, changing something that was there for a very long time in your life and maybe slowly hurt you in a way. Maybe it was great at the beginning, but near the end, I think to get to the Ten of Swords, it was like slowly destroying, and then at one point you're like, there's unsolvable. There's not, I cannot give more, and I cannot receive anything from it. It's just pain at this point. So why is justice here? Because you're making a decision. Why is justice for Leo there? Ah, strength. Well, there you are. So that tells me that you're making this decision. And you're making this decision out of your higher self to maybe leave. Six of Swords. Leave that behind. Leave that situation behind. That's what you're doing. And it's going to be from your higher self. You know, justice has that same white robe as the strength card, where maybe what kept you there, and it can be part of your ego also, maybe out of fear, maybe out of not disturbing anything around for XY reasons. It's gonna take you strength, in a sense. It always takes strength to follow what we believe inside instead of what, I don't know, other people expect around. It takes that strength of character to truly be so connected with what we feel is right that we are going to make the decision anyway. And you are leaving a situation. You're leaving an established situation. Of course, this is not going to be for all of you. The Two of Wands. Wands. Two of Wands for Leos. Ah, yeah, well, there you go. A choice. An elevated choice. The Lovers is that when we are inspired by higher than us. That's why the higher self connected to the universe. The universe there is represented by an angel, by the light, the inspiration of the divine that comes down. Our feminine grasps it, you know, through the high priestess. And our masculine is going to act upon it. Here we have it from the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. And swords, here mastering the swords, because you did go through the Ten of Swords in that situation. So you are going to be very clear about it. High Priestess. High Priestess. Want to talk about the High Priestess now? High Priestess for Leo. Ah, well, there you are. King of Wands again with the Magician. So that tells me this is full power. I am relying on my intuition for what I want to go and manifest and create. And be in total power of it. Very conscious in it. very conscious. Here, Ten of Pentacle. What is that Ten of Pentacle? Spirit, what is that Ten of Pentacle? For Leos, what is that Ten of Pentacle? Oh, well, there you go. Okay. I have the Pope. So, of course, we can be talking about an institution. That means like a big job that's there for a long time. Religion, government, universities, that kind of thing. It can be commitment also. For some of you, this is a relationship that you're ending. You're ending it because you are here. Death. Okay, there's a transformation of one state to another, and it is connected to your spirituality, to your intuition, to what your soul was probably yearning you to do for a long time. Now it's clear. And that is why the Wheel of Fortune will be turning. Here, Princess of Pentacle, what is this? Because after the Ten of Pentacle, we start again anew. And the Princess of Pentacle is the one walking with that new pentacle to be planted. King of Swords. I'm telling you, this month you're very mental in a good sense. So it is a decision made with integrity and discernment to go into that new venture. You're leaving a situation that was there for a long time, that your soul was yearning, like, get out of there. There's my, you know, I want to do something else. There's something else out there. So now you're taking the decision to let it transform, and with discernment you are going to bring forward from that decision a new prospect, a new possibility, a new seed that you are planting and walking forward to it to make it grow. Queen of Sword. Why is the Queen of Sword there? There's a card that flipped. Ah, well, there's our Page of Pentacle. So, really, you see the discernment that's there? That you've learned from your experience of how miserable you were in that situation that lasted for such a long time. But now with your wisdom and your strategy, you are going to bring forward that new pentacle in a whole different way. So what was that conflict here? Five of Wands. What was the conflict about? Why is the Five of Wands there? Oh, Five of Wands, Five of Wands. So that tells me conflict, conflict, woman. So, yeah, it was probably very conflicting in there. Yeah. And double 5 like that. This is like 10. I am dropping this. I am finishing this. And I'm moving forward. Pope. Pope. Why is the Pope here? For Leo, for the month of December. Oh, there's our Queen of Swords and the Four of Swords. See, walking forward with your wisdom because you're healing. And there's our Ten of Wands that I was talking about. Leaving that thing behind. I am not doing this anymore. I am skittling out of there. And here with the Queen of Swords, that discernment of perception, you're able to heal whatever were the disappointments and the pains that you had there from your wisdom when it comes to that institution here. So we have 2 times the King and the Queen of Swords. Mr. Blackbody passed for you. See how this will pass. King of Swords. Nine of Swords. A lot of anxiety. This is overcoming the anxiety and all of that. 2 of Pentacles and our 3 of Swords. Man, were you... Because see the sword that the king has in his hand, that's 9 plus 1. It's your 10. That decision that the King of Swords is making. And your emotions will probably see the 3 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles. What do? I have this thing, but maybe I'm gonna take that thing. Here, the King of Swords is that straight cutting decision that's going to relieve maybe the emotional up and down you were feeling in that situation. So really deciding to cut one thing so you can plant the new one you've decided with your King of Swords. And that, all that anxiety about God, you were disappointed and hurt and all of that from that situation. Here, with our Queen of Swords, she healed, transformed that into wisdom. Here, our King of Swords is eliminating all of that from behind. That's beautiful. You're gonna end up at the end of December extremely clear about your situation and walking forward with a new pentacle in your hand. With something, that decision that you're making to go for something else is going to grow into something. So to keep that mental clarity so that you don't, regret and wonder, did I do the right thing or whatever. No, that discernment from your High Priestess, Queen of Swords, King of Swords. Go here. Yes, I love you, but go here. Okay. Is going to be clear. Remember that. Now I'm going to ask, what is that new pentacle going to bring to Leos? What is that new pentacle going to bring to Leos? What is that new pentacle going to bring to Leos? Knight of Cups and Justice. It's that you're going to walk with something that you truly love, and it is going to be here justice again. It's going to be just. And here, Knight of Cups. It might bring somebody that brings you a cup, but it is going to be just and balanced. So that is beautiful. Yeah, maybe the capacity to do something you love, or if you're getting out of a situation that was more of a established relationship, that you deciding to walk towards and building something new for yourself is going to attract and bring a Knight of Cups towards you. Maybe somebody that wants to offer you emotions and love. So on this, Leo, I'm gonna wish you a beautiful Christmas and winter solstice, and don't forget to comment and subscribe if you want. And for the contest, I want to thank everybody that gave donations. It helps more than you think. And this month again, I'm gonna do a ceremony on the full moon and the new moon to give you back in the shape that the universe sees fit. The universe gonna choose. And apart from that, well, I'm gonna wish you a beautiful month of December, and I'll see you next month. All right? Namaste. Bye bye.